making my way to the medieval churchyard of Llanfihangel Din Sylwy in Ynys Mon in Wales. The church actually sits right next to an old hillfort which dates back over 2,000 years. I understand there's a spooky looking well not far from here. The hillfort is known as Bwrdd Arthur, or Arthur's Table, and some people believe that it was a meeting point for King Arthur and his knights, but this is highly unlikely as there's no archaeological evidence for a settlement there after the Roman occupation. This area is also known for the Witches of Llanddona.
In the early 17th century, a mysterious rudderless boat without a sail or oars drifted onto the sand at Llanddona beach. Inside was a group of men and women with piercing gazes. When the local population tried to drive them back into the sea, one woman from the boat struck her stick into the sand and fresh water gushed out from the dry ground. Terrified, the locals allowed them to stay, provided that they lived outside of the village. Local folklore states that they became a powerful clan, which effectively ruled Llanddona through fear. Two women who stood out as the matriarchs of the clan was Bella Mawr, or Big Bella, and Shani Butt, or Short Betty. Bella Mawr was the most feared of the clan members. Local people believed she was able to manipulate the elements. As for Shani Butt, she stood at only 4 feet tall and had 2 thumbs on her right hand. Unlike the rest of the local population, there was one man, Gronwy ap Tudur, who was said to be immune to the magic of the clan. On one occasion he forced Bella Mawr to give a formal blessing over him and his livestock. Once Bella blessed Gronwy and all he possessed, her tribe lost their supernatural hold over the community, and their influence gradually withered away over subsequent generations.
Here lieth the body of Hannah, daughter of Robert Jones, Cornyd, Llanddona, by Mary, his wife, and she died June 15th, 1835, aged 16 years. It's a headstone from the 17th century here, but not in its original position. And it's for a John Parry, and he died in 1753 at the age of 64. Jane, dear daughter of Thomas and Margaret Pritchard, Post Office, Llanddona, the one who died at the London Hospital, London, November 14th, 1893, at 27 years old. Also their dear son, Hugh Pritchard, who died April 20th, 1933, aged 89 years. In fond remembrance of the family of Penrall, Llanddona, Penrall would translate to top of the hill, Elizabeth Roberts died November 20th, 1898, at 37 years old, and her husband Thomas Roberts, who died May 12th, 1914, aged 72. And their 3 children, Jane, died May 2nd, 1885, at 2 years old. Anne, who died June 7th, 1904, at 8 years old. And Mary, who died May 2nd, 1899, at 9 years old. They won't be forgotten. Try the door just in case. Oh. This grave must be from the 1600s, possibly at least the 1700s anyway. There must be some more bad weather on the way. There's some oil tankers who are anchored just offshore there. Another old grave here. Randolph Pritchard, he died July 26th, 1746, aged 58. I believe there's a spooky well nearby. I'm going to try and see if I can find it. Okay, that didn't go to plan, there's no way through there. If we can't see the well, let's at least try and go on top of the hillfort. The fort was on top of a limestone hill, which is 164 metres above sea level. It had a defensive stone wall around the perimeter, and they think that it was constructed in around 200 or 300 years BC, and it was still occupied whilst the Romans were here. I've actually found some Roman coins and pottery at the site. It was probably originally called Din Silwy, just that the Arthur's table, or Bwrdd Arthur, was given to the place probably in the Middle Ages. Wow, the fort must have been massive. Don't know if you can hear me. This must be the highest point here. Whoa! You can see Llanddona beach down there, where the witches were supposed to have landed. Wow, it's massive. This must be one of the largest hill forts in Wales, I guess. Just making my way to the other side of it now. Incredible. You must have needed a lot of men to defend this though. The perimeter is just so large. Okay. Wow, there's loads of tankers actually. You can see at least another 4 now. You often see them anchored by the east coast of the island when there's bad weather. Disappointed I didn't get to see the well. In about 2 or 3 years I might be back here looking for it.